Hello and welcome to all of you out there, my astrology friends. This is the video about the solar eclipse that is going to happen around at about the 20th of April. So I've been talking about that in a monthly horoscope, but this video in itself is just about the eclipse. And also after the introduction in general, on a collective level, I'm going to look at the 12 signs, each and every sign, very shortly but promptly, and to have a look at what kind of area this eclipse is going to fall for you. So let's get started. On the 20th of April, the sun and the moon will be together. It is like what we call a new moon at 29 degrees of Aries, which means like the very last degree of the sign of Aries. And it is with the south node, the north node there. Although the north node is not yet in Aries, it's going to be in Aries in July. But the north node, it goes backwards. So it's now at the very beginning of Taurus. So it's going to be around at about 4 to 5 degrees of Taurus. And therefore, they call it a conjunction. So 29 degrees of Aries, then we have the sign of Taurus, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and there is the north node. So therefore, it's a total eclipse even because it's so close. Although it is technically, you could say, in a different sign. So this is definitely like a triple whammy of a new start, not only because it's an ending and a new beginning, what is typical about new moons. We have that every month. Also, the second emphasis on this new beginning is because it's an Aries energy. The third emphasis of this total new beginning is that it's time to do a new beginning because it's at the last degree of Aries. So you could say it's an extra oomph to get started. You've got that last energy boost. And so definitely that's a third sign. And the fourth sign, so a quadruple whammy, you could say, of new beginnings, of endings and new beginnings, is because it's with the north node. Whenever an eclipse happens with the north node, it shows something because the north node reflects newness and growth. So it's something that is going to like catapult us. Is that a word? Towards our future. Because it's the north node. It's something new. It's not something that sometimes an eclipse can take away something. You could say that is more when it's conjunct the south node. But now in this case, it's very much centered towards, this new fresh starts. And so I always look at the Saros cycle as well. And I get that information from a book. I can't recall the title, but it's something with an eagle in it, the lark and the eagle or something like that. And it's from Bernadette Brady. She made like a whole study of those eclipses. It's enormous. It's super analytical information. And you can look up the Saros cycle where each and every eclipse is belonging towards. I'll put a link at the end of this video. I put a link of explanation of the Saros cycles. It's a very old video of mine, but it's good. It would be bad, microphone, no microphone. The lighting is not good and whatnot, but the content is good. So I'm going to put that link at the end of this video so you can watch it if you're interested in that, to learn more about it. So if you say, Veerle, what the hell are you talking about? Get that information. It's 7 North, the Saros cycle that this eclipse is belonging to. And it's one of the most passionate eclipses because it's passions that are hidden for a long time. They kind of flare up. So that sits very well with this Aries energy, doesn't it? Because Aries is a fire sign. It's the first sign of the zodiac, and it's all about doing. It's all about courageousness. It's all about courage. Aries is all about fresh new starts, pioneering what you've never done before. Go for it and don't look back. Just do. You know, it's ruled by Mars, which is now in Cancer, so which is a very emotional sign. So we are very triggered now by our emotions to do things, right, during this month for sure. And so it's not enough just the Aries energy and the Sato cycle, you know, where it belongs to, that is rather positive because it's all of this passionate energy. And definitely when you are a bit, or if you have been afraid of doing some things that you've always wanted to do and expressing those passions, and when it's of course safe to do that and the right timing, and when you feel like, yes, this is it, this is an extraordinary energy. Now, the eclipse in itself, so I already said that, okay, we've got there the North Node, we've got the Sun, we've got the Moon. We also have Jupiter very close to this little, traffic jam that we're having there in the sign of Aries. And Jupiter, of course, is a very expansive energy and it's very hopeful. And in Aries, it's like a rough diamond, basically. Jupiter in Aries is all about, I find purpose in action. I find wherever Jupiter is positioned, it's always, where do you find purpose? Where can you find growth? Where can you find meaningfulness? And isn't that so important nowadays, where we have more, you know, in the Western world, you could say there is a lot of access to already material stuff that wasn't the case many years ago. But it's more about purpose and it's more about spiritual growth. And that is very fantastic when you want to have a plan and you want to take action. And it's all very spirited, you could say, you know. It's a very spiritual element, the sign of fire, right? And Jupiter next to it, it's like, wow, fantastic. Is there a but? Yes, there is a but. There's one but, and it's the square to Pluto. So whilst all this is going on in fantastic Aries, we could go even over the top if it wasn't for Pluto, because Pluto squares up to it. Pluto squares up, it's at 0 degrees of Aquarius. So you could say that it is like a very narrow aspect towards the Sun and the Moon at the very end of Aries, 29 degrees. It's a very tight aspect. So it's the Sun square Pluto, it's the Moon square Pluto. I could talk like a whole hour just about these aspects, but they are very transformative. They are also about endings and new beginnings for sure, but more something. And also it has this hidden stuff energy, just like the Sato cycle. The Sato cycle has its hidden side of, you know, hiding your passions, right? Sometimes, you know, it's not all, when I say that, probably most of you are going to think, oh yes, I have feelings for someone, but that person, that woman or that man is married, I can't do this, or XYZ, whatever it is. And I can't express my feelings. That could be a story, but there are hundreds of other stories. Like, for instance, you have a passion to start a new business, and but you can't talk about it because you're still working for a company. And if you say that, hey, if you are expressing who you are, which is your fiery passion, they're gonna say, what? We're gonna dump you, because what are you doing here? You're going to be competition if you're going to do that, for instance. So there are so many reasons why we are hiding our passions. But Aries is all about authenticity and honesty and openness. And so actually is Pluto, because Pluto, it wants to keep things hidden, yes, but at a certain time, when it comes to a square to other planets, it's a combination of what was hidden comes up. And it's for better or for worse. Let's hope it's mostly for better, because sometimes it's not good to hide stuff, because that gets energy. Whatever we hide, it's like fueling that. And it's not positive, it's toxic, it's what we call toxicity. And it's because of that energy is bottled up and it becomes bigger and bigger to hide it. So in that respect, this square to Pluto might be a bit disruptive. And in other ways, it might be a blessing. You know, it might be a curse and a blessing. Of course, energies are never positive or negative. They are what we make out of this. If we know this, if we know that, and that's the power of astrology, the empowerment of astrology is if we know that an energy like that is coming up, which is tremendous energy, you know, like a rough diamond, and it's like, it has a potential to shine extremely, right? And with that Pluto, it's definitely the case. It's the potential. So you can run away from it and you can keep on hiding. And that will demand lots of your energy, and it will demand like at some point surrendering, right? Because Pluto, you can't control Pluto. It's like trying to control death. I mean, literally, you can't do that. You can't do that. At some degree, a doctor will think that he or she can do that to some degree, but not all. Nature is always stronger. So the divine is always stronger than just one person. Now, if you know that, if you know the power of Pluto, you listen to it. You listen to, you are in service of a greater power. And that's the strength of Plutonian people who've got that in their natal chart, Sun with Pluto or Moon with Pluto. At certain stages of their life, they have to face their shadow. They can't run away from it, you know, like most people can. Sometimes they put their head in the sand and it's gone. But with Plutonian people, it comes back and back because it wants to be seen, it wants to be healed, it wants to be transformed. So what an energy this is. This is a very deep eclipse for sure. And we have our free will. Don't forget that. We have our free will. And I mean by that we can say thank you very much. I'm not gonna use that energy, you know. I'm not gonna work with this energy. And then it will come back later with a week or a month or maybe within 10 years. I don't know. But it's always, you know, stuff that wants to get healed is always going to come back. And Pluto is all about healing. It's all about karma and healing and going through that pain, you could say, of whatever it is. We will look at that in the different signs. Now, it all sounds quite powerful, doesn't it? And it is. But the good news is that after this, around about the 20th of April, 2 days after that, Mercury stops in Taurus and goes backwards. So it shows that we have an opportunity to put new actions, to start all over. And then we are going to do that in a consistent way and think about it, how to reassess it and to improve it even. So that's a good sign. And also because after this eclipse, the sun and the moon are going to shift very quickly after a couple of days after that eclipse into Taurus. That's a good sign. It means that there's stability coming up. So whatever it is that we are so excited and so hopeful and so scared, but we know that it can change us and there's no way back then. You know, that is Pluto. It's like the things are shifted now and there's no way back. You know, Pluto has the energy of extremeness, you could say. It's like, for instance, if you resign for a job, you can't go back. You can't sit on your knees and say, oh, I was not doing the right thing. Can you undo this for me, right? So that is Pluto. So be aware of the consequences, and the consequences will be very strong, but Pluto wants authenticity and realness. So it's not going to take away something that is still important for you. So having that in mind, it gives a lot of faith and trust to do whatever it is that you feel like, yes, I'm ready. And it's in alignment with the divine. That is the clue here. Okay, enough of this eclipse because I can talk days about it. It's such an interesting one. Let's have a look at, and is the microphone. You remember that my microphone, yeah, I'm going to check it every now and then. You know, I'm still a little bit obsessive about it, although it is better. I knew, I figured out what the problem was. But anyway, that's not important. Let's start with Aries. So Aries people, dear Aries people, especially if you've got planets at the very end of Aries, you are going to feel this extremely a lot. So where is it that you want to be bold? Where is it that you want to change your life? And it has to do with your goals. Because, by the way, where Pluto is going to be our secret power. And that is in your 11th house. So the power or the empowerment lies in your goals, in your friends. So there it is where you have given away your power, probably. So with this square to the first house, it is an opportunity. Again, you do whatever you want to do with it, but it's an opportunity to take back your power. So where is it that in your goals, you need to take back your power? You need to take back the authenticity, the honor of the self. And the first house is your goal in life in general. It's everything. It's your body, it's your mind, it's your soul, it's everything. It's the first house. So be very, very explorative around your goals for the future. And also friends, you know, there could be friends that there is power struggles going on there. Stop it. Stop giving away your, stop it. Stop giving away your power, basically, right? I'm not going to elaborate too much. This is it. Taurus people, the 12th house, you've got this eclipse in the 12th house, your patterns that you're not aware of, that everyone else is aware of around you, who knows you quite well, but you're not aware of it. So these patterns, they need to go, and you need to establish those good patterns, those fresh patterns. Where your power lies is in the 10th house, because that is where Pluto is. Pluto is in the 10th house, so you have probably given your power away in a certain extent towards when it comes to your work, your career, your social status, and or a connection with a parent. So in one of those fields, I'm giving the big chunks of those houses, but in some of those fields, you have an opportunity to take your power back, to do something, and that has to do with patterns that you need to let go of, whether they are patterns that you escape from, or, you know, the 12th house is the house of escape. So tackle those patterns, and you can tackle them by taking back your power in one of those three areas. Your social status, I mean, there's something empowering in in telling the world, you could say, of what your social status is. Maybe your marriage has been gone wrong for years and years and years, and now finally the divorce is going on. And you say that to people, right? It is public. That is the 10th house. It doesn't all have to be so extreme. It can be in another side as well, that, hey, you are going to declare that you're going to be a mom, for instance. That's also a shift in social status from a woman that is that has no kids to, or a man, to someone who's got kids. So there is a very, very huge empowerment possible for you on those fields. Geminis, this is happening in your 11th house. Now, the empowerment comes from your mindset. So there is something that you have given your power away towards thoughts, and that were probably not yours, that were probably not the correct ones to go further in life. And this eclipse is in your 11th house. So there is like an ending and a new beginning. Very exciting for you, because this is good energy for you. The Gemini energy and the Aries energy goes well with each other. And this is all about endings of friendships that are not working, and new ones, or current friendships that go up a level, you know, that get that upgrade, and new beginnings. And it is because you're taking your power back when it comes to your mind, how you view the world. The 9th house is definitely how it's your color of glasses that you have on. Are they too pink? Are they too black? Whatever it is, there is a shift here. And that is it's very future oriented for you. And that is a beautiful thing. So you could have like all these new goals for the future as well. And that is because you have shifted your mindset, or you have stepped out of an old narrative and stepping into a new. Cancerians, this eclipse in your 10th house shows like new opportunities, endings, of course, first and foremost, and new opportunities in the career. It can also be in your public life, and it can also be your connection with a parent. So in one of these areas, there's newness there coming up, and it squares up to Pluto in your 8th house. So it has to do with taking back your power when it comes to the value of what other people say. So are you a person that values other people's opinion too much? Are you a person that the 8th house is also shared resources, so that you share resources with another person, and there is things that are hidden that are not okay and that you have to tackle? This is the moment. So pretty significant for the Cancerians, definitely if you've got planets at the very end of Cancer, like 27, 28, 29 degrees, you're going to feel this very strongly. There could be a shift in your social status, for better or for worse. And it all has to do with your letting go of an old way of how you see others valuing you. Leos, this is happening you're one of the lucky ones, the Leos and the Sagittarians, because it's in a fellow fire sign, and it's with all these new beginnings. It's in your 9th house, and Pluto is in the 7th of relationships. So where have you given away your power when it comes to a significant relationship? Or maybe you are single and you are now reviewing it, that where is your power when it comes to connecting with other people? Are you giving away your power? Are you falling for them too strongly? Or are you trying to control them too strongly? Which is all very Pluto. And there is a shift and a new beginning because of this eclipse in your 9th house. It could be a trip that you're making, a very far away trip that gives you that insight, or a book or a movie, something 9th house, or a person even that you are connecting with that is from another culture or another, that is very spiritual, and that can give you that insight so that you transform your connections, because there is where your power lies, in strengthening your connections. Virgo, this is happening in the 8th house, this eclipse, and it squares up to Pluto in your 6th house. Now, this is taking your power back when it comes to your body and your mind and your health and your day-to-day routines. It's the Virgo house, the 6th house, and with Pluto there, it's like you've given away your power to some extent when it comes to maybe habits that are not the best, or maybe work that is not the best. And now, because of this, it could be of a deep psychological insight that you're having with this eclipse in the 8th house. It could be literally by thinking about death and rebirth, because something occurs in your environment that makes you think of transformation, that makes you think of, okay, I have to be real here, and I have to start with the simple stuff, which is my day-to-day life. And so Virgos are really invited here to dig deep, and it's a deep psychological house, the 8th house, and it's a house of where you can tackle fears, and there could be like a release of big fears, and that has a knock-on effect on taking back your power on a day-to-day basis, where you feel more empowered, where you feel stronger, of course. And that could mean like doing more exercises or having a better diet or whatever it is, but it's going to empower you. It lies there, it is there, and it has that opportunity. Librans, all relational stuff. I mean, this eclipse is in your opposite house, which is the 7th house of relationships. If you are single, this could really, really mean, wow, there is a new person there. And what kind of person is that? A very fiery one, a very fiery one. And with Pluto in your 5th house, it's taking back your power. So maybe it could be different scenarios, but one of them could be that you are single and now you're taking back your power. You're saying, I'm opening up my heart again. I'm scared. I'm scared of being vulnerable, but hey, it's the only way to connect. That could be this whole new vibe that you are introducing in your life. You could be in a relationship and there could be tons of things happening there with endings and new beginnings, for better or for worse, depending on your connection. But bottom line is, you're taking back your power when it comes to your heart. So it could mean that, you know, you have given too much power away to another person. Like someone is super charismatic, for instance, with Pluto in your 5th house, and you give all your power away. You just shift yourself, you know, it is very common for Librans, right? The people pleaser, they shift themselves like a chameleon, and before they even know it, they have a painful, they are in a painful situation because they can never be themselves. They have shifted themselves so much toward another person that there's no realness there. There's no authenticity. And this is what this is all about, authenticity and realness. So it is definitely a chance to improve your connections, all of them. I mean, the ones that you are in, or if you are about to have a new connection or started a new connection. This is definitely an empowerment of, you know, it's like, on the one hand, be vulnerable, but on the other hand, don't be stupid, right? Don't just let anyone in. So it's a very, very interesting eclipse for you. Now, Scorpio, this eclipse is in the 6th house, and that is your day-to-day life, your work, your health, and it squares up to Pluto in the 4th house. So these are really deep insights that you can get from and taking your power back when it comes to your emotional security, the 4th house where Pluto is. And by doing that, the 6th house, there is a shift that you could say, hey, I can't do this anymore. This work that I'm doing, I can't do it anymore. You know, it's very common for Scorpios. They are here to be real and to be authentic and to put a light on darkness. That is such a positive Scorpionic kind of feature, you could say. So you could be doing that. You could be also dealing on a more mundane level with home and family, and that there are shifts happening, and also the work area. Maybe you're moving, for instance, or you're selling, moving, and because of that, you need to shift your work as well. So it is Aries. Bottom line is that you're taking back your power when it comes to feeling secure and feeling that you are okay on an emotional level, which is so important for Scorpios. And yes, new beginnings there at the workplace, but also that could be a totally new beginning of how you deal with your health, to improve it, to do more exercises, to eat healthier and whatnot. And that has a very supportive effect on your emotional stability and on your mental health, physical and mental health. Sagittarians, you are like the Leos, really, really exploring and having this beautiful, adventurous energy for sure. I mean, this eclipse is happening in your 5th house, and Pluto, taking back your power, is in the 3rd house, which is your mind, which is the way that you think and communicate, and you're taking back your power, a real and authentic conversation, and which is also healthy, you know, in a healthy way. And it has to do with things from the heart, because the 5th house, these new beginnings and endings, is about the heart. So it could mean a new love romance for sure. It could mean that, and this empowers, this strengthens the way that you connect with people. You know, communication is connection. And but on another level, there could be some newness in the life of a child that is very expansive, and because of that, you know, your mind is shifting. You say, okay, I'm going to do new things here, and off you go. You know, this Pluto in the 3rd house of Aquarius, and it's like it shifts your goals for the future for sure. On another level, it's hobbies, projects, and news. It is the moment now to think about new hobbies, new projects, and to launch them. What an energy this is. It's extraordinary. And when it's in combination with learning, because the 3rd house is often seen as a house of learning as well, when there is some learning involved, it's even better. It's even better. So you could be, let's say, learning, you know, how to You go to, I don't find the word now, toneel. What do you say, toneel? Which is on the stage, right? You do some theater, and you learn about that, and you learn about all the different styles and all the different periods and what kind of areas you wanted that to implement. You're just doing it, and you're going on stage, you're performing, whatever it is that you want to do, and you learn about that. Or you learn like to play, how to play an instrument or a language and whatnot, and you apply it. Very, very beautiful energy for sure, and you're gonna like it because Jupiter is you. You are Jupiter there, also in that 5th house, connecting with the eclipse. The eclipse, the sun and the moon just passed you before that eclipse is formed. So you're gonna feel it very strongly. The Capricorns, this is happening in your 4th house, the deepest part of your horoscope, and it squares up to Pluto in your 2nd house. So this is about taking back your power when it comes to your confidence. I can't stress that enough. When Pluto goes through the 2nd house, a lot of Capricorns panicked and have written to me, and am I going to lose all my money? Is it going, not necessarily. It can mean sometimes Pluto in the 2nd house that there must be a demolition, right? That there is like the things that are not okay on your financial level. You have to deconstruct in order for it to reconstruct in a better way. It's like, when you want to have, Capricorn is associated with bones as well, right? When you had an accident and your bones, it's so crap, they have to put it out there and put something new in it. But first they have to put something out before they put something new in, to be more solid. And that is the same for you when it comes to your financial security, and it comes to your confidence. On a level of confidence, Pluto in the 2nd can mean also a lot of money and a lot of confidence. So if you have given it away for some reason, there is definitely an opportunity that it comes back. And it's related to this new beginning in your 4th house. It can literally mean like selling and buying homes, but it is on a deeper level, it is your emotional security. So it's like, how can I be my best parent? How can I feed my own needs? How can I fill up my own cup? It's all that kind of thing. Aquarians, this is happening in your 3rd house with Pluto in your 1st house. So, dear Aquarians, how are you doing? I'm very curious to hear, because you have one of the biggest transits that one can have, which is Pluto, on your ascendant or your sun sign or moon sign. Now that's a big one. It's about taking back your power. So definitely when you feel very disempowered at the moment, it's that demolition time that it's going on. Trust that, and surrender. Surrender to what is already not you anymore. And it deep down inside. Use that gut feeling. You are very intuitive. Aquarians are very intuitive people. So let go of that old you. And it's going to help you to reconstruct a new you. And the new beginning here is in the 3rd house. So you could be learning new stuff. You could be learning how to drive, learning how to, a new language that you want to learn, or a skill that you want to learn. And that is going to be so important for your new life path, that is going to be more authentic for you. The 3rd house is also communication. So, or if you have your own business, this could mean like the end of an old website and launching a new one that is way more you. People are going to say, what? Because it's Pluto. It's like a totally new personality that is there for you, and that is definitely available for you to use this energy in a good way. Another level, this new beginning, is a connection with siblings, connections with people in the neighborhood. There could be some new start there, an ending and a new start when it comes to these people as well. But a very, very, very important eclipse for you, for sure. Pisceans, this is happening, the eclipse in your 2nd house, and Pluto is in your 12th house. So you can take back your power towards your connection with the immaterial world, with the non-material world, you could say, which is the 12th house is your house. So with Pluto there, it's transformation through release. And definitely you know how to do this because you are a Piscean, but it's going to have that effect in a very material world because the second house is literally your finances, your assets, your car, your house, whatever. The second house is what nourishes you and what also, therefore, it's also foods and so on. So there could be a new shift that you try out new foods that you say, yeah, no meat anymore. Or maybe you say, I've been a vegetarian for 20 years. I'm going to stop it. I'm going to eat meat. Whatever it is, there's a shift there. And it's also a shift in and a new start when it comes to your value system. You're owning your talents. And it's like, because you also release those old patterns that are no longer suiting for you. This is karma of years and years and years and years and lifetimes after lifetime. So very hard to let go of, but now an opportunity to do so. So whenever you are taking your power back, that look, these are my blind spots, but I let them go, you're going to feel so much more secure. And I mean stable as well. And that is so positive and such a nice energy to welcome. Having said that, this was in a nutshell, but I hope you look at the introduction as well, the biggest part, well, not the biggest part, but about this eclipse, so you can plot it in towards your, you could say, your sun sign, your ascendant. I always start with the ascendant, that's the best, the ascendant, then the sun sign and the moon sign. Anyway, have a very good eclipse time. Thank you so much for watching. Keep on sharing, commenting. I'm not commenting at the moment because it's a bit busy in other areas of my life as well. But I definitely read all of them. So keep on commenting. It's basically what I'm saying here. Anyway, thank you so much for all your support and see you next time. Bye-bye.